Right beneath your feet, there is a world no human was meant to see. At a certain depth, the rock begins to move, almost like something alive. And at the deepest points, the earth itself begins to scream. This is the story of every hole humanity has punched into this planet, what we found down there, and what we were forced to stop looking for. Let's start at the surface and go down layer by layer. The easiest treasures were the ones sitting just below the grass and dirt. For thousands of years, humans scraped at the skin of the earth. We dug for copper, for tin, for iron, for anything the ground would give us. But eventually the easy deposits ran out, so we had to go deeper. The Bingham Canyon mine in Utah is over 1 kilometer deep. You could stack 3 Empire State Buildings inside it and still not reach the top. It is the largest man-made excavation on the entire planet. But open pits have a limit. Gravity and erosion eventually win. To go further, humans had to abandon the sky and tunnel straight down. And that is where things start to get uncomfortable. South Africa is home to the deepest mines ever operated by humans. The Mponeng gold mine descends nearly 4 kilometers below the surface. Every single day, miners ride cage elevators into the crushing dark below. The descent alone takes more than an hour to reach the bottom levels. At 2 kilometers deep, the rock temperature reaches over 40 degrees Celsius. Without massive cooling systems, a human body would shut down within minutes. The air is pumped down from the surface through miles of ventilation shafts. 3.5 kilometers down, the tunnels become impossibly narrow. Miners crawl on their stomachs through passages barely wider than their bodies. The pressure at this depth is immense. Rock can explode without warning. They call these events rock bursts, and they register on seismographs worldwide. At Mponeng, they pull gold from veins thinner than a human fingernail. To extract 1 ounce of gold, they must move over 1 ton of rock. But humans wanted to go even deeper, not for gold, for knowledge. In 1970, Soviet scientists began drilling into the Earth's crust. The location was the Kola Peninsula, deep inside the Arctic Circle. Their mission was simple: drill as deep into the planet as physically possible. Not to find oil or minerals, but to see what the deep earth is made of. Year after year, the drill pushed through granite and ancient metamorphic rock. By 1979, they had already passed 9,000 meters deep. They were deeper than anyone in human history had ever reached before. But the real surprises started appearing at around 7 kilometers down. Scientists expected to find a boundary between granite and basalt layers. That boundary, called the Conrad discontinuity, simply wasn't there. The geology textbooks of the era had to be completely rewritten. They also found water at depths where water should not have been possible. The water had been trapped in the rock for over 2 billion years. Microscopic fossils of ancient organisms were found at 6 kilometers deep. Life had existed far deeper inside the Earth than anyone had ever imagined. By 1989, the drill reached 12,262 meters. That is over 12 kilometers straight down, deeper than the ocean is deep. But at that depth, they encountered a temperature of 180 degrees Celsius. The rock at that depth behaved like thick plastic. It flowed instead of breaking. The drill bits kept getting stuck. the hole would close itself behind them. In 1995, the project was finally abandoned. The Earth won. All that remains is a rusted metal cap bolted over the deepest hole on Earth. But the Kola borehole barely scratched the surface of the Earth's true depth. 12 kilometers sounds deep, but the Earth's crust alone is up to 70. Beneath the crust lies the mantle, nearly 3,000 kilometers of superheated rock. The mantle is not liquid, it is solid rock that flows over millions of years. At certain zones, the mantle partially melts, creating vast magma chambers below. These chambers feed the volcanoes that reshape the surface of our world. But there are places underground even more alien than magma chambers. 300 meters below Mexico, there is a cave filled with giant crystals. The crystals in Mexico's Nika Cave are over 500,000 years old. The temperature inside is 58 degrees with 99% humidity, lethal without protection. Now imagine what exists at depths we have never reached and maybe never will. Below the mantle, the Earth's outer core is a churning ocean of liquid iron. This spinning iron ocean is what generates the magnetic field protecting all life on Earth. And at the very center, a solid iron ball the size of the moon. It sits at 6,000 degrees Celsius, as hot as the surface of the sun. And no human being, no machine will ever touch it. We have mapped distant galaxies billions of light years away from us. We have landed robots on Mars and sent probes beyond the solar system. But the deepest we have ever gone into our own planet is 12 kilometers. That is less than 1% of the distance to the center of the Earth. Everything we know about the deep Earth comes from indirect measurements. Seismic waves from earthquakes, vibrations that echo through the planet's body. We read the echoes and try to imagine what's really down there. The Earth guards its secrets well behind walls of pressure, heat, and time. And the deeper we go, the more we realize how little we actually know. The deepest mystery in the universe might not be out there. It might be right beneath your feet.